Hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. So, last week we left off where you were talking about, boundaries with work and kind of how you felt about setting those and like trying to find more of an even balanced space between the two, between work, home life, you personally. Where we at? What's going on?
So I feel like my home life has come full circle a little bit more. I've had a little bit more of boundaries in terms of work and like letting not bringing it home and um, definitely being able to like put things aside of how work for my previous job was and not like having that like guilt, I guess. um, and having more of like that time to myself and talking to my wife and like having that time for my kid and like having my own time. So I feel like it's getting there. It's just an adjustment. Change is change.
Hard.
Yeah, it's hard. But I'm feeling pretty good. um, I will say it's you know the thing that's probably the most like eating at me a little bit is the drive, which is
Okay.
something different, but it's a good 30-minute drive and coming home. um I'm not getting home until like 5:30, and my wife is home by 4:15, and it's like constant go. But I mean, that's the only part where like I come home and it's like, okay, let's feed the kid, let's play with the dog, let's do this, let's do that, and then it's like, okay, bedtime, right? um but that's probably the only thing. And I mean, it's changed, it's difficult, but it's a minor thing. um right, it's a
Hmm.
little bit, and it just makes the evening go by quick. But I get to spend the morning with my kid.
Hmm.
So I drop him off at school, I get him ready in the morning, so I do have that like individual time with him, which is really good, which I didn't before.
Hmm.
And then the weekends, and that's the weekends. I will say the plus that I had is I had Veterans Day off, and I've never had Veterans Day off it. So I mean,
Yeah.
added bonus, right? um, Minor win, but I'll take it. But I think just having that open communication with my wife and making the best of the time that I have really allows for me to have kind of a more uh, peaceful decision, I guess.
Yeah.
That helps. A little clarity.
So, last week we were talking about, kind of setting those boundaries and setting time for yourself and like making time to like take that dog for the walk and go by yourself.
Yeah.
Where are you at with making that a consistent thing in your life?
So I started, on Tuesdays, I go into work late. I work from 12 to 5, and then I come home and I do telehealth from 5:30 to 8. So I mean, I'm in my office for that. So like in the morning, I drop my kid off and then I come home and I have that good like 4 hours, well, 3 hours really, of like being with the dog, playing with her, and like getting um, that one-on-one time with myself, and just being able to have that. And then, on the days where it's not terrible and my kid is not being a demon, uh, I'm able, if my wife is feeling good and like we both have stressful jobs, right? But
Hmm.
and she's in a good spot and the kid's not, like I said, being a demon. She's like, why don't you take the dog for a walk at night? So like she's been able to like give that and like realize that I do need um that time.
Hmm.
So it's been really good. And then uh today actually I took um picked my kid up from school because I took a half a day. So I came home, picked him up, and took a dog for a walk and with him. So it was a good balance a little bit. So I'm really enjoying the actual ability to do things a little bit more.
So then you're also, I hear, implementing boundaries with work by like going in late some days and coming home early some days.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's needed.
So where do you feel like the struggle still is?
Um, I think it's internal more than anything. I feel like I'm my own worst critic at times. So like it's more of like me being hard on myself than like what is really going on.
So do you think it would be safe to say that like working on that guilt, that shame, that self-critic is something important to you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what we teach. That's what, my job is telling people to like work on that. So like if I don't take that and, apply it to myself, then what am I really doing, right?
Okay, so I hear a lot of like willingness for that.
Yeah.
How confident are you that that is a change that you can really implement in yourself and in your life?
Um, I will say that I'm stubborn, so I think it's gonna be hard, but like I, I've done a lot so far, so I think it's pretty easy if I just set my mind to it.
Okay.
I think
What
it's
do you think the first step in doing that's going to be?
la 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 la. I think the first step in me doing that is knowing that it's my own guilt and not like acknowledging it out loud and saying it like, yeah, it's not anyone else, it's just you being in your head.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I think like the first thing would be like acknowledging that it's just internal and not being an external factor.
What do you think, like, where would you benefit from doing this? Like, where would your life improve?
um, it would improve probably more of my mental health because I feel like um, having that release of like guilt and
Hmm.
shame, would allow me to have like more of a clear mind and actually be present.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it would help a little bit more my mental health. Maybe I could get off my meds. I don't know.
And you think of people who could support you in this change?
Yeah, I know my wife has been very supportive so far. My new boss and my team at work has been very supportive of like anything I need. Things that I have questions or concerns, not to hesitate to ask them. And um, yeah, so I mean, I have people in my corner, um, not only professionally but also personally and stuff like that that will help me realize that I'm not crazy.
So, between the other sessions and today, what I'm really hearing that we've worked to is that you, as Zach, wants to work on how you perceive yourself and how you perceive your job. And one of the ways that you're doing that is you're setting boundaries with your family and with yourself and with work to give you more time, which does create guilt and shame, which kind of brings us back to that A square. But you are going to be combating that through step A, firstly acknowledging it and saying that no one else is in this situation that is important to me is mad at me for this.
Mhm.
Um, so after you kind of work on that acknowledging, what do you think's next?
um, After acknowledging it, probably like the action phase of like actually realizing it and
Mm,
like
yeah.
knowing, I mean, I can say it out loud until I'm blue in the face, but if I don't really like listen and follow through, then it's really just a mute point.
Perfect. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm thinking, what about a little bit of homework? So over the next week, two pieces of homework. What if I think this will help kind of do some affirmations for you on both sides. So self affirmations, um, writing one positive thing that you bring to your family, to your job, and to your just self
Okay.
on a sticky note, just for you to read.
Okay.
And then maybe checking in with one person twice this week, whether that be your wife or your son or whoever, and flat out, asking them, like, do you think that, these things are negatively affecting you? Or do you think that I'm not around enough so that you are able to, again, reaffirm and hear those words that you're trying to convince yourself, like you're talking about, that this is your feeling and that they don't feel this way towards you? Because I think sometimes it might be hard to truly believe something that only you are saying.
Yeah, I get that. I
Does
can do
that
that.
sound like something you can do? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so let's kind of leave off on that and we'll touch back next week and see how you made out with that.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, perfect. All right, bye.
Bye.